There's been an increase in retail spending in January despite 3 consecutive interest rate rises last year.
Margy Osmond is the Chief Executive Officer of the Australian National Retailers Association, and she joins us now in Sydney. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Does this defy the odds? We've had interest rate rises and we've been out spending apparently.
Yes, good morning, Virginia. Look, yes, we have been out spending. It is the festive season. It is January, so it's not altogether surprising that people will spend a bit, but this is bigger than expected. Most commentators were expecting about 0.5%, and we've come out at 1.2%. This is traditionally the worst quarter of any calendar year for retailers, and I think that while January is good news, I'm not certain it's a true indicator of what may happen in February and March.
Has it all been done on debt?
Well, look, I think there is a fair degree of credit card use happening out there. I think the other thing that's something of an incalculable is that we've seen a very substantial growth in the trend to buy gift cards as Christmas presents. So many people this year bought gift cards as presents for people to use in the post-Christmas sales in January. So there'd be a proportion of it, I think, that you'd find is accruing to that gift card as well.
But wouldn't that have been recorded as the first purchase of the gift card in the first place rather than the redeeming of it?
Well, yes, it will have been seen in December, but for many people also, they don't even buy the cards until that first period of January.
Right. All right.
So look, post-Christmas present.
Yeah, okay. the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I guess it makes sense. I mean, the Reserve Bank of Australia is clearly seeing enough heat in the economy that it's needed to increase interest rates consecutively as it did towards the end of last year and now for this quarter. Our spending would be fueling that, at least in part.
Well, look, yes, spending would be fueling it, but certainly one of the big players in this market would be the very strong employment marketplace. You know, something like 200,000 jobs created in the last part of last year. So I think for many people whose biggest concern was whether I have a job or won't I, they found themselves in the Christmas-January period with a job and they spent a little bit of money accordingly. While confidence figures are, of course, quite high, what we've been seeing in the last quarter of last year is that spending wasn't keeping up with those confidence figures.
So you're seeing this as a bit of a false positive, as it were, are you?
Well, look, I think we could describe this as a sparkle at the end of the tunnel. I would like to think that this is the beginning of a positive trend, but we'd certainly be hoping that the Reserve Bank does nothing hasty at this point in time, because it has been a very patchy year. We had a negative situation in December. Yes, we've had a positive January, but I think we need to see several months of positive growth together before we see another interest rate increase.
Well, a year or so ago, that's what the national discussion was about. Was the Reserve Bank of Australia either a bit too fast or a bit too clunky in the one lever that it can pull to try and keep control of an overheating economy? Are you suggesting that maybe the RBA has got it wrong with this increase?
No, look, I think it would be universally accepted that this was probably not an unexpected release on the back of some of the anecdotals that we were getting out of January. But this does make the 4th consecutive increase in a relatively short time. While January was positive, I don't think it's enough to justify another increase until we've got a couple of months, say 3 months of positive growth in the retail sector.
Margy Osmond, good to talk to you again. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Virginia.